Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to thank all of you guys there on New Tech as well as YouTube for all of your guys' continued support.
We start things off from Fox Business. Bud Light parent Anheuser-Busch sees $27 billion gone, shares near bear market. Shares of Bud Light parent Anheuser-Busch down nearly 20% from March highs. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just say that who knew it was going to be beer, as I've mentioned before, that was going to capture the imagination, capture the attention of regular Americans to what wokeness is really about. About $27 billion in market value has vanished, falling to $107.44 billion through the end of May, down from $134.55 billion on March 31st, as tracked by Dow Jones Market Data Group. A significant number. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't emphasize to you enough how much of an impact this is having, and the outrage, of course, by progressives, the left, Democrats, and the establishment uniparty, seeing that when average, everyday, regular Americans decide they don't like something, they can send a clear, painful message that many of these people in the industry are learning from. And I want to emphasize this right here. The problem is it just takes your brand into a space that it doesn't need to be. And it just creates a lot of strong feelings about something that isn't really related to the product or its brand, said Timothy Calkins, Associate Chair of the Marketing Department at Northwestern Kellogg, in an interview with Fox Business last week. That's why I think we're going to see lots of brands be really cautious about what they do, especially related issues that aren't directly aligned with their product or service. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is speaking common sense. The direct message that I often try to articulate my own self, he worded it so perfectly. In other words, he is saying, if you have a product that you want people to buy, tell people about your product and what's so good about it and why you should buy it and how it can do whatever the product is supposed to do or the service. That's all we're talking about. Common sense. Common sense was exactly what we do here on the BuzWeaver channel. We take the difficult, we take the complicated, we take the tumult, we take the framing, which I'm about to move into right now to kind of give you an idea. So, of course, another company that is under the gun, Target's stock loses $13.8 billion, sinks to lowest level since 2020 over boycotts. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to the wording here. Target stock has lost a whopping $13.8 billion over the past 2 weeks, hitting its lowest levels in nearly 3 years as the cheap chick discount retailer continues to face backlash over LGBTQ-friendly kids' clothing. Continues to face backlash over LGBT-friendly kids' clothing. There's a reason why I said it that way intentionally and deliberately. Because, of course, the outrage was over the fact that it was targeting children, just like we talk about the Drag Queen Story Hour and these sorts of things. You know, for me personally, if you're a grown human being, part of the LGBTQ or gay community, whatever it is you align with, whatever your orientation is, I don't have a problem with grown adults, consenting adults, engaging in whatever it is they engage in. I just don't understand why they have to introduce it to children. I'm not saying all of them do it. I'm not saying every single person in LGBTQ or gay people do this. I'm just saying we can see a connection here. And this is what people were getting concerned about, just like CRT in schools. You know, kids were coming home and telling their parents what was going on, and their parents were absolutely floored, shocked. But we can see here some of the wording, and not directly in this image, but we see here consumers have accused Target of enticing children with the items, because I don't want to use that particular word. Most recently, alt-right rapper Fortigo, Blow, who's topping iTunes chart with his new rap song, Boycott Target. The song's lyric address an LGBTQ agenda that the rapper sings has gone too far. And of course, as you know, we have talked about this since 2016, ladies and gentlemen, when the beginning of the outrage mob, cancel culture, and just progressivism, wokeness, all of this identitarianism that was all going on, intersectionality, all this was culminating to what we see today as it's falling apart. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this wording and why I intentionally said it the way I did, because now we're going to go over here and we're going to talk about the way CNN is framing it. Target is being held hostage by an anti-LGBT campaign. Is it really? It's ordinary individual people, moms, fathers, uncles, aunts, people, the general public, middle of the road people that are realizing what's going on and they're speaking out about it. During every Pride Month in June for the past decade, Target has sold merchandise for LGBTQ customers, employees, and allies. But this year, Target faced an anti-LGBTQ campaign that went viral on social media. No, that's not what happened. Let me show you how responsible writing works, CNN. Discount retailer continues to face backlash over LGBTQ-friendly kids' clothing. Okay? That's what they were concerned about. But as you can see, CNN can't be intellectually honest. They can't tell you the truth. They can't be direct with information with anyone. Hurting brand sales and reputations has the stated goal of the campaign. The goal is to make pride toxic for brands, said right-wing commentator Matt Walsh on Twitter. If they decide to shove this garbage in our face, they should know that they'll pay a price. It won't be worth whatever they think it will gain. So here's CNN trying to play all these angles, all these word games, all this framing, all this nonsense to suggest that, there's a danger to the LGBT community. There's a danger to companies and businesses that want to sell merchandise to LGBTQ, which has never been an issue. Because I emphasize this again, the concern was because it targeted children. And I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to change some of the wording and the framing of it for the purposes of not having to mention it here on YouTube. And the reason I want to show you this is because this is the example that I'm talking about. Viral video. California high school teacher introduces students on how to engage in a particular adult activity with adult products from Target. Now, this is just one example that I wanted to show you. There are many more. Of course, you guys have probably seen all the videos of the Drag Queen Story Hour and these sorts of things, and maybe even some of the Pride parades, and of course, even some of the more disturbing ones involving actual children themselves, which I don't show here, and we probably can't show on YouTube, but these are the examples, So CNN wants to play this game like Target is being held hostage and the LGBTQ are being harassed and all this other things. No, ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason. There is a point in someone's mind, common sense, rational, cogent people that realize that, hey, this activity is now being directed at children. It's being put on products. It's out there in the market. Dylan Mulvaney with his Anheuser-Busch, and he's a TikToker. And of course, many of those in his audience or his followers and subscribers are tweens and teens. So the people that Anheuser-Busch wanted to target was a concern for people because targeting children and or, of course, making the beer seem as though it's more effeminate and or targeting more effeminate drinkers, which is not really what Bud Light had established itself to be, just like the gentleman was saying in this article here. This is common sense here, that's why I think we're going to see lots of brands be really cautious about what they do, especially related issues that aren't directly aligned with their products or services. Exactly. Virtue signaling. What's going on right now with Pride Month, or what's called pink washing, is just another form of virtue signaling. This is where businesses and industries, and they call it pink washing because it means that, they're intentionally or willfully changing products and information and advertising, directing it towards the LGBT and or gay community. And which is interesting because I rarely ever see the progressives complain about capitalism and free market when the capitalism and free market is targeted towards a certain group of individuals. But as long as they get the recognition, I suppose they are content with that. But again, that's neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. Businesses can target whomever they want, but really, ladies and gentlemen, it's not necessary to introduce these types of things to children, which is the point of it all. But yet, you have individuals like CNN and progressives and the left, and even individuals like Karine Jean-Pierre, who wants to make it all about an attack on LGBTQ, and that's not entirely true. And that's what I have for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. And of course, below this video, you can find the various Amazon links that you could use as your landing page if you have Prime or order frequently from Amazon. That helps out the channel. And of course, in community, I've also included my picks of the day, which would be TVs and movies. So be sure to check those out as well. And guys, you've been amazing as the channel is continuing to grow. And of course, we're remonetized, so I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for all you guys there on New Tech as well, as things are going quite good there and getting subscribers. So thank you guys for all of your continued support. Appearing there on the screen, at least for those here on YouTube, that would be the channel icon you guys can click on to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys right there behind the Galaxy phone next week.